Hey guys, Danielle here. I am an environmental toxin expert and educator, and just recently I got the opportunity to spend the day with Lori Kempton, who is a Crunchi advocate. And she invited me to come in and kind of peek behind her cabinet doors in her kitchen to see what cleaners she had and what food products she had and what she was cooking in and serving her food in. And I really appreciate that. At the same time, I asked her a lot of questions about Crunchi. I heard her story, and I'm going to share it here with you. So enjoy the clip. Yeah, tell me your story and how you arrived with Crunchi and the product.
Okay. I used to sell a name brand that I sold to many women over the years and used for about 25 years. And one day I woke up and I put it on and my skin couldn't handle it. I was breaking out and rashes and everything. And so I immediately got on the phone, called the people and said, what did you do to this lotion? It's breaking me out. And they said, we didn't do anything. It's the same as it's always been. And so I didn't know what I didn't know back then. But as I've gone down this toxin-free journey, I've realized that my body burden had reached its limit with those chemicals that were in that product. And so it took me many years after that. I thought, well, I can't wear that. So I went to the mall and I tried every product that they had. I'd go down each month. Every time I'd run out of foundation, I'd go try something else. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I'm putting all these toxins on my face. And I did look at some later when I realized what I was doing. And some of them actually were a little safer than others, but I didn't know that, had no clue. And so in my toxin-free journey, I found this lady who was educating people on different things, different swaps. And she was taking, like for your mascara or for your foundation or for your cleaning products or for your shower gel, all the different things. And she was every week giving some more education. And I was watching her and I thought, oh my gosh, here I've been through breast cancer and all kinds of endocrine disorders. And I thought, here I am, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I've been probably poisoning my body for many, many years, because I've worn cosmetics since I was 12, I'm 58, so that's a lot of years. Actually I got off of the toxin stuff at 56, but still, that's a lot of years. 40
we weren't as toxic in the 80s and 90s than we are now, because we are definitely, because my father and I talk about this all the time, especially when we talk about how particular I am about my food and my meat. I'm like, Dad, where did your mom go and get meat when you were a kid? She was like, from the butcher. And I was like, well, where did the butcher get the meat? And he was like, from the farm down the road. And I'm like, exactly. Yeah. So that's the same thing I'm doing now, is when I go shopping for my meat, I'm getting it from the farmer down the road.
Right, exactly.
And not from a factory farm.
Yes, and I do the same thing. So anyways, in that process of being in this lady's group, I realized that she sold a makeup that was, it's called Crunchi. And so I immediately, I had tried, yeah, here we go. I had tried everything that they had and all the other makeups, and I really wasn't happy with anything. My one makeup was the one I'd used for 25 years. I loved it, and I really preferred it over anything I'd tried. So I said, can you send me some samples? I really want to try this. And I was kind of half thinking, well, it might work because nothing else had worked. And when I got it and I started putting the makeup on and the lotions and the way that my skin was receiving it, I was sold. It was like, okay. So the lady that told me about it didn't even know me. But I ordered a lot of the products and I started using them. And then I thought, I need to be an advocate because I need to tell people about this, and that's what Crunchi's all about. They're about educating, and so I started a group, and I educate people on the different toxins, and I love meeting people like you that think like me, because sometimes we're looked at as crazy because we care.
Yes.
And people think, well, I'll just do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and it's okay. But when you do a little bit here and a little bit there, and they all add up. And for somebody that's really sensitive or that has other underlying health issues, it just makes for a perfect storm, and it's just not a good thing. So that's why I got into Crunchi, and I'm finding that it's a calling, because I'm changing people's health and I'm changing their lives because they're feeling better. It's not all about the makeup, though. This is a big part of what women put on their skin every day with the chemicals. It could be hundreds of chemicals that you put if you start adding up everything that you've put on with your shampoos and your cream rinses and your lotions and your perfumes, if you're still using those, and all of that stuff, you add up all those chemicals, and it's astronomical. So
there was a documentary that was just well, it's going around the country, and I believe that your the lady you're talking about actually had a screening of it at her house. It's called Toxic Beauty.
oh yes.
And within the documentary, you know, they do this is me on day 1, this is me on day 2, and this is me on day 3 with no products. And the amount of dramatic amount of chemicals, and I think the one was just phthalates, I think is the report. She's off the chart. This is the norm, this is her, and then by day 3, this is her, like almost near to 0.
Yeah.
Because she's not putting on the cosmetics, the shampoo, the using the body wash, etc., so forth.
Yeah.
So it is amazing, and how quickly you can turn things around as well.
Yes. Yeah.
For instance, if you eat organic, if you, let's just say that all week you didn't eat organic and your body is toxed with pesticides, if you go to an organic diet, that usually sheds within 24 to 48 hours. There's actually some testing done. Of course, the testing is expensive.
Well, you can tell it. You can see it though in somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
When I look at someone and I can say, I can see their face, and I can look and I can say, oh, she's toxic, and not in a bad way. I don't want to
like
say
a gray skin.
Yeah, and you can just see it. And I have a thing I carry with me when I speak or when I have a display, and it's a picture of me. I've lost 20 pounds in this journey, which isn't a whole lot. I need to lose more weight, but I still haven't figured all that out yet. But
you look great.
Thank you. The difference in me, I've gone down. I went from a size 14 to a size 6 jean, and I lost 20 pounds, and that's unheard of, because normally you would have to lose a whole lot more to get that much of a dramatic size change. But I'm finding that it's the inflammation that's going away. I'm not losing pounds, but my face is thinning and my body is thinning, and it's coming away, but it's not because of the weight. It is the toxins and the swollenness and the toxicity. Now, if I'm eating a bunch of gluten for a week, you'll see it in my face. I can't hide it anymore.
Feel it. I'm sure you feel it in your joints.
Yeah, I feel it, but and it's not that I don't do it sometimes, because sometimes the blueberry pie is just calling me, and it's better for me just to eat a piece of blueberry pie than
and not feel guilty
to think about it. Yeah. So I just do.
Yeah.
And I know that the next day I'm going to look a little swollen, which happens. But anyways, it just, the overall, when you get the toxins out of your body, it just changes your whole demeanor, everything about you. And
brain fog.
Yeah.
Brain
you can
fog's
finish
a big one.
Sentence. And
Yes.
Yeah.
I can tell when I'm having a bad day, because, and some of my medications will put me in a brain fog, and I literally will be like, okay, I'm going to take one of my medications because I don't want to suffer through this pain, but I know that I'm out for the next 6 to 8 hours, because I won't be able to function. I can't. I even slur my words. Like, you would think that I was on some sort of narcotic, because I literally can't function.
Don't you find that though, the less toxins that you have in your body, then when you are exposed to something that has a toxin, it's more so than you ever. And so the other day we had, I forget what we ate. It wasn't good. It was not a good eating day. And Jim and I were both miserable. And we're going, what did we do? And we started looking back at what we had eaten that day, and we said, oh, we shouldn't have done that. And but it normally wouldn't have even affected us. We would have never noticed. We would have just eaten it and gone on. But now, those things.
Notice. Yeah. My best friend notices. I don't know what it was the other day, but I was exposed to something, and she's like, "You got that sensitive?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got that sensitive."
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know until you're, you're past the toxin load, which is usually when you have cancer or chronic illness, or you're dealing with something. So we're in the business of we rather be in a proactive inflammation business than the reactive, which is why we're out here. And it's not fringe, and it's not crazy, and we're not tree huggers. And I had someone that said I'm an activist the other day, and I was like, well, I guess you could describe me that way, but that's not my main title.
Mm-hmm.
My main title is just to be
an educator.
Yeah. And to be the person that you can call when you need that information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed too when we talk about greenwashing and clean washing, in the Crunchi cosmetics, they care about every little ingredient that they put into their cosmetics, and so that's why I love this line, because I can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to read all my labels all the time, because I know that they're a company that cares, and they're not going to source it. They're going to pay attention to their sources, and if they can't get the right ingredient sourced properly, they won't put it in their stuff.
They don't put it out, or they won't put it out. There's other companies out there that are like that too.
Yes.
For instance, I'm an oiler, and again, if there's a shortage of this oil, we just don't get it.
Right.
So we have to go look at what an alternative oil is with the same chemical makeup. So that's the aromatherapist coming out to me.
Yeah, well, and that's true. And then you don't always have the variety because of that. You know, like with our colors, some of our colors are they're basic, and then they're coming out with some better eyeshadows and different things. But it's a process, because you've got to know what's in your products. And
the more you grow, coming from the retail side, the more you grow, the more you're going to be sourcing that particular product. And again, if the natural source isn't there or abundant, I know a lot of companies won't come out with a product because they're like, until we can sustain this, because the growth is going to be so big, we just won't even put it out there.
Exactly. I think it took us like 4 years to get our eyeliner out, because eyeliner is very toxic in most brands. And and especially around your eye, that's a very absorbent place in your body too. And putting highly toxic stuff around your eye is just not good. And so it took them 4 years, because they even cared about the packaging, you know, what it was being put in and stored in, so that it was safe. And
I showed my husband the packaging today, because I ordered some stuff while I was out of town, and my packages all kind of arrived at the same, well, I don't know when they arrived. I went and picked them up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, isn't this the coolest packaging ever? It's just a piece of paper.
Yes.
Which can go in my recycled paper.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then our cosmetics, like our blushes and eyeshadows, are all in these, they're cardboard, so they're all recyclable. And I can take the paper off of that.
Take the mirror off.
Yeah. And then our bottles are all glass, and they're recyclable also. And a lot of the girls will just wash them out and use them for other things. When they're traveling, they can put their shampoos in them and stuff, and have a nice little travel thing. And they're coming out with something even newer for the lipsticks. This is a aluminum casing with a BPA-free plastic on the inside. But they've got a new thing that's coming out that no one has ever used, and so that's to be.
So 1938 was our last cosmetic laws that were put into place, and it was based on the fact that people were putting these poison toxic materials in the makeups that women were wearing, the cosmetics that women were wearing. So yeah, just trivial.
Well, and I have a friend right now that actually, she's toxin-free, but she had used one of the lash builder products from another company, just because they didn't have anything organic to choose from, and has gotten very ill from that. And even today, you know, it is out there. There's things out there that we are told that are wonderful, but yeah, they might make you look beautiful. But at Crunchi, we try not to sacrifice our health for beauty, and so that's why they really pay attention to all of these things. But when I hear the European standards, I think, okay, that's great, because Europe bans a whole lot more products than we do. However, when you're looking at something that's good for your skin, which everything you put on your skin is absorbed, not everything, but a lot of what you put on your skin is absorbed very
and not
quickly.
in 26 seconds.
Yes, very quickly though. And it's so when you know that your sources are organic sources, if it says mineral oil, everybody thinks, oh, that's great, but it's not. It's one of the dirtiest things that you can have, and it depends on where they're sourcing.
Think about the fact that we use petroleum all in the 70s and 80s on our bodies, on our babies' bums, on our lips.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And what is petroleum jelly? It's crude oil.
Yes. And so you have to know that your ingredients are organics, and that they're clean going in, because you can say, well, we follow the European standards. Well, you might not have those particular products in there, but the products that you do have might still be dirty. And so that's why I just love this brand.
And one reason why I love the Crunchi brand is because they don't do that greenwashing, clean washing thing. They're very upfront about, we can't do this without the aluminum plastic, BPA casing. So they come out and they say that. Being able to come out and say, this is the material that we use, and this is the reason why, and this is the reason why we believe it's safe, and this is much better coming out from a company than just someone like the Miss Myers of the world that puts all the BS on the back.
Right.
And then you get to read their label, and it's like, wait a second, what are you hiding under this label of fragrance?
Exactly.
So totally, I 100% agree that those are the products we need to be, those are the companies we need to be investing in, because at least you're being transparent and you're saying this is the reason why we're using this, and we don't see that we just see the greenwashing happening or the clean washing.
Yeah, and they won't, and we have also to recycle, if you're talking recyclables, our new mascara is in a glass bottle, and it has one little tiny BPA-free plastic ring that you can remove from inside the bottle on the top, and then everything else is recyclable in that bottle. And also our new lip
Which
glosses.
I just got the mascara. So I bought eyeliner because I was out of eyeliner. I bought mascara because I've been waiting very patiently for your mascara, because it's extremely hard to find mascara that isn't laden with something. And then I bought the lip gloss. So I bought a lip gloss, and when I put it on, I was like, oh, this smells good. And then I went and kissed my husband, and I was like, do you smell this? And he's like, that smells good. And he's like rubbing his lips together. So yeah, I just, again, hands down, like, I love companies like this. And like you said, they even made sure the mug was good when they handed you a mug.
And the fun thing is too, when you do give those kisses out to your husband or your little grandkids or anything like that, or your children, it's safe. Before, who knows what we were passing along with our big red lipstick kisses, back in the 90s or something. And what were we doing? And when I first met my husband, he kept saying, do you know what's in that lipstick? Because he didn't like me kissing him with lipstick on it. Oh, it's fine. I had no clue, but now I do. So when you know better, you do better.
Yep, exactly. You can't, I would like to say this, you can't unknow what you know either.
Right.
So then it becomes the burden of, I got to make wiser choices. And again, I'll go back to, I know some people, argument is, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, that's BS. Let me just put it out there. That's BS. Because you do have the money when you make the money. Because again, you could swap out something else that's a little bit more inexpensive so you can afford something that is a little bit better. And as far as time and knowledge, you have apps now that you can scan a product and find out what's in it. And you just need a little bit of knowledge how to read that label. And as far as time, well, you need to take time for yourself.
Well, and join groups like yours and get your education and education in mind.
Ask your questions.
Because we're women helping women, and we're all in this together trying to find the right answers to what we should and shouldn't use. And so I think there are other ways, and sometimes people look at this and they say, oh, this is too expensive for this foundation, but you use so very much, or so very little, that it'll last for
stabilizers, because it has to be shelf stable. And again, I love a product that says if I'm putting this shelf stabilizer in there, I'm listing it. I'm not hiding it under a fragrance or whatever. So good point is that
we're not going to have all that, and so it's not going to last as long. If you don't use it every day, it won't last years and years. Like when I started this journey, I was pulling out my old stuff. That
cosmetics are very concentrated with a lot of pigmentation, so it doesn't take much. And so even though the bottle seems like, okay, that's pricey, but when we actually did a comparison, we went to Sephora and compared the name brand makeups to what our makeups were, and it actually is not a whole big difference. Well, in our starter kit, like if you were going to be an advocate, we were saving lots of money by what they were buying to start a business versus that. But yeah, it's not that much different, because theirs will hold up on the shelf longer. but ours
Yeah.
will last longer in the bottle when you, and that's, we don't, as an advocate, I don't have to stock anything. You always order your stuff like you
Yep.
get on the internet, because then you're getting the freshest product. When you go to Walgreens, or I shouldn't say a name, but you go to a department store or somewhere and you
drugstore, department store, grocery store.
You have no idea how long it's been sitting there.
Correct. And if they're not rotating their inventory properly, which depending on the stores, I'm also taking 2 different cannabis courses. So I'm really into the whole, because I believe it's really an emerging market, and we're seeing a lot of like CBD or cannabis products coming out even in the beauty. And I thought it was funny because one of my teachers was saying that she was coming back from a convention, and she's a formulator, and at her convention they were talking about how Sephora is requiring 3 different forms of third-party testing before they'll even look at your product. Okay. Wow. So here's what me and my friend just looked at each other, and we're like, why are they not doing that with makeup? Because makeup is laden with heavy metals and toxicity. So if Sephora is making the hemp people that are or the CBD people that are formulating products with CBD through this 3 steps of third-party testing, why are they not requiring it with other cosmetics?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
they will, because the green beauty movement is on the roll.
Oh,
so
totally.
It will, there will come a time that we will be standing here and we will be thrilled about all the the safer choices that we have as women. But you can remember that Crunchi's going to be the one that started the movement. I think that we're really we're ahead of most, and they're raising the standards, and hopefully there will be others that will follow.
And we love it when we do see others that follow as well.
Yes, I like everybody to have a choice. You might not like what I have, but for now, I love what I have, and I'm going to tell the world about that, and just all the other products that are out there that are safer.
All right, well, thank you for sharing Crunchi with me, and I'll be sure to share this along with my audience.